very much. Judge Ed Gorin has done a terrible disservice to the state of New York. What he's done is terrible. Businesses are fleeing, and you see that. We just released a statement on Truth. Businesses are fleeing, and crime is flourishing all over the state, and what he's done is such a disservice and should never be allowed to happen again. New York State is being battered by his decision. So I greatly respect the decision of the appellate division, and I'll post either $175 million in cash or bonds or security or whatever is necessary very quickly within the 10 days. And I thank the appellate division for acting quickly. But Judge Ed Gorin is a disgrace to this country, and this should not be allowed to happen. Thank you very much.
Let's take it one at a time. First, on the federal appeals lowering, he just shot out a message saying Trump Tower remains mine, huge victory. How do you see it, Kevin?
I look at this from a completely different point of view. Let's go up to 30,000 feet and talk about the American economy, our ability to remain #1 worldwide, and most importantly, attracting foreign capital to invest in America. And the concept and why that happens and has for over 175 years is in our Constitution, property rights are mentioned over 25 times. So this is very important because if you're going to go over to the Middle East or to Denmark or Europe, where I'm going next week to raise money for American projects, notably data centers, when they give $3 billion to you, they want to know their property rights are protected. And so what was happening in New York was extremely scary. And I have to admit to you, in the last 2 weeks, I kept telling them before our meetings, don't worry, the adults will step in. Something will happen to advance the appellate process. Your rights are protected. Imagine me telling foreign investors that as they watch this roll out in New York. Thank goodness the adults came to the rescue.
What's going on, everyone? Sauce Skinny here today, and we're going to analyze Trump getting his fine reduced by 65%. He went from paying $453 million in bonds to appeal his judgment, his summary judgment, I might add. That the idea, and this is the funny part about all this, is that in his civil fraud case, as Judge set April date for hush money trial, Trump didn't get a full trial, as you may or may not have known. And the reason these people keep pushing this idea, oh, Trump is getting special treatment. Like, you see many people on the mainstream media freaking out over the fact that Donald Trump got his fine reduced, when in the very first place, they weren't treating Trump like a normal citizen, right? They created an unprecedented bond for the case that he'd been tried for. Not tried for, sorry. Summarized judgment on by a judge that was corrupt, in my view. Democratic operative. He should have recused himself to give this trial, this case, more credibility, but he didn't. Smiling on the camera doing this. I did a video on it. He did thumbs up. And now it blew up in their face. Apparently, Trump's polls spiked again. And I like Kevin O'Leary when he came in. He said, thank God the adults came in the room because we're lucky. We're lucky. Look at some of the stuff. Here's a clip from AOC that I got going for
years ago. As a brand new member of the House of Representatives, you grilled Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, about whether Mr. Trump had lied about his finances for tax purposes. Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, says that testimony directly led to her office's fraud investigation and this $464 million penalty, this bond Trump has until tomorrow to post. If he does not post that bond, do you think the state of New York and Attorney General James should begin seizing his assets? And are you at all concerned that doing so could actually lend him political support, feeding into his narrative that the deep state and Democrats are out to get him unfairly?
Well, you know, I think Attorney General James has been handling this case with tremendous skill. It's ultimately up to her determination, but it is my belief that all people should be treated equally under the law. And if that seizure of assets would be pursued to any other American, then Donald Trump should be treated the same. As far as the political implications go, I think that what we are dealing with politically is the much larger and much more grave and serious pressure of having this judgment against Donald Trump and him being in this degree of debt. and the financial pressures that he is under and what he is subject to do in order to obtain those assets, I actually think that that there is risk in not seizing these assets and the open window that exists in him trying to secure these funds through other means. We've seen a lot of interesting transactions happening with Truth Social and other means, and there's a very real risk of political corruption. So again, I respect the Attorney General's discretion here, but I do think that he should be treated equally under the law.
What was Trump accused of? Ms. James took Mr. Trump and his company and his adult sons to trial last fall, accusing them of fraudulently inflating the value of golf clubs, office buildings, and other properties to the tune of about $2 billion. Mr. Trump exaggerated the property values and, in turn, his own net worth to obtain favorable terms from banks and insurers, according to Ms. James. At the trial, which lasted months, Mrs. James' lawyers argued that Mr. Trump's company had ignored appraisals and manipulated numbers to sometimes absurd degrees. The reason why I show this to you, my friends, because fake news, New York Times. You see, this is the dirty game they play. There's so many people that are either in on it or outright lying. Let me pull this one up for you to debunk, very simply, this narrative. At the trial, which lasted months, here's one for you. New York civil investigation of the Trump Organization. In September 2023, Enron issued a summary judgment. There was no trial. Summary judgment. What does that mean? Summary judgment in law, a summary judgment, also referred to as a judgment as a matter of law, is a judgment entered by a court for one party and against another party summarily, i.e., without a full trial. They are lying.
Hey, I did my job. Debunked. Right? And here's a tweet I show you. It's a real treat. You know, I found this on strolling around. What was the best part of today? Was it Trump getting his fine reduced? Was it getting control of his businesses back? Or was it a $3 million Truth Social merger? Trump sure had fun. This is the day, and this is the tweet from John Collins. Dear Letitia James, have fun today. Best, JC. And look at all the liberals. Trump is working on his phones right now to execute some brilliant last-minute strategy. Right? Yeah, that two stuffed crust meat lovers and like these people are having fun. Look at them laughing. This didn't age well. I don't mean to be a downer, but I'm afraid expectations are just a little too high. I don't really see any unrealistic expectation here. I just said that she has to enjoy her day, and I'm betting she will. You think Letitia James enjoyed her day on Monday? No, she did not. This is the funny part. I wish there was a camera to see his face when they announced it. Happy Trump Seizure Day, April 25th, 2024. Yeah, this meme aged well. All right, this shirt aged well. Yep, this shirt aged well. Aged. How do you spell aged, guys? Aged well. There you go. You saw the tweet. Look at her face. Maybe that should be a thumbnail for me. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section if I should have made that a thumbnail. But I said all this to say that, you know, the liberals out here, Democrats, Biden campaign rolled out nickname for Trump. Strategist said that's a bad idea, calling him Broke Don. That was going to be the name. Broke Don hides in the basement. Trump can't raise money, isn't campaigning, and is letting convicts and conspiracy theories run his campaign. Right? And look how you came out on the end. Winning, as the cool people will say. He's winning. So I want to show you the video I promised you guys on Mark Dice. I kind of want to skip ahead just a little bit before I show you the video. And then I'll end off the video right here. So let's check it out.
Turning into promotion. Here is the famous Democrat pollster Frank Dunce.
I want you to remember this moment. And don't forget it. If the New York Attorney General starts to take his homes away, starts to seize his assets, it's all going to be on camera. Pundits are going to sit there and scream about this. This man cannot be elected.
Which she may do today.
You're going to create the greatest victimhood of 2024, and you're going to elect Donald Trump. If they take his stuff, he's going to say that this is proof that the federal government and the establishment and the swamp in Washington and all the politicians across the country and the attorneys generals and all of this, that this is a conspiracy to deny him the presidency.
He's not going to have to say it. Everybody already knows that.
I agree with that sentiment. I honestly believe, and I showed you the polls before, I say that most people who are not a Democrat don't agree with the fact that this is actual justice. Everyone believes in some way, either unsure or surely, that this is a politicized attack on Trump. AOC in the clip was talking about how we got to treat Trump like everybody else. Well, do you create an unprecedented fine on an individual because he's not Donald Trump? You accuse him of overvaluing his property by about what, $100 million? And then an expert on CNN opened her mouth and said, yeah, he could sell this at least for a couple $100 million, when the judge who gave the summary judgment on his trial said it was only worth $18 million. This is why Kevin O'Leary was when the judgment was passed, because he's like, thank God the adults are in the room. Thank God the adults are in the room.
In this infraction fee, and that really should be getting more to what's balanced. Trump assuring everybody he has the cash to back the bond. These are good advancements towards keeping the stable message about the American brand as the #1 economy to invest in.
Kevin, let me actually dig into that a little bit.
Yeah, you seen that, you heard that, right? The Democratic Party is literally making America look bad from a cultural perspective, economics perspective. It's ridiculous. As usual in history, the black eyes of our history always come from the Democratic Party. Slavery, segregation, KKK, all comes from the Democratic Party. Us being the laughingstock of the world, Democrat. Wars being started, Democrat. If you look at our political history, more wars were started under Democrats than Republicans. Now, I'm not saying Republicans are perfect. I'm just saying they F up less than Democrats do. The biggest critique you have against the Republicans is that they're too cowardly to actually stand up for what they actually believe in. At least our politicians are. From a federal level, nationally, or in your local levels, hey, go on local Republicans. I'm with you. District Republicans, I'm with you. State Republicans, I'm with you. But when you get to that senator, federal level, that's where it's a little shaky there. But, I digress. Let me know your thoughts about Trump's bond reduction. What were your reactions to Trump's bond reduction? And did you love the seething of the liberal left? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.